The poster. You're not on the most wanted list, not yet. For now, you're just a face on a poster at the post office, the kind nobody reads. You were caught on 3 different cameras during a bank robbery in a small town. Your face clear as day. You wore a hoodie but forgot about the camera angle from the teller station. It was an amateur mistake. The FBI opens a case because robbing a bank is a federal crime, but to them, you're just another number in the system. One agent is assigned part-time while juggling 40 other cases. He'll check the databases, run your photo through facial recognition, and send a few emails to local police. Then he'll move on to something more pressing. You have maybe 3 weeks before anyone seriously looks for you. Most bank robbers get caught because they can't keep a secret. They brag to a girlfriend, a drinking buddy, or some stranger at a bar. But you stay quiet. You don't spend the money in obvious ways. No new car, no trip to Vegas. The cash sits in a storage unit while you work your regular job and pretend nothing happened. 6 months pass. Your case goes cold. You're still wanted, technically, but you're not being actively hunted.
There's a difference. If you're smart, you could live like this for years. Some people do. Level 2, the regional threat. You hit 3 more banks, different cities, same state, but a similar method. Now there's a pattern, and patterns get noticed. The FBI creates a task force, a small one, just 4 agents, but they are focused entirely on you. They call you the Hoodie Bandit in internal reports because they don't know your real name. Local news picks up the story, and your photo spreads across social media. Tips start coming in, but most are useless. People claim to see you everywhere, in Ohio, Florida, and Montana, all at the same time, according to witnesses who are absolutely certain. The task force filters through the noise, searching for the one tip that's real. Then you make your first serious mistake. While scouting a new bank, you use your phone to check Google Maps. It feels harmless, but your phone pings a nearby cell tower. The FBI doesn't have your number, but they do have the data from every phone that was in that area during your surveillance window. That's 3,000 devices. They'll narrow it down. The list gets shorter every time you scout a location. You're unaware of this. You think you're being careful, varying your targets, changing your appearance, never hitting the same region twice. But a digital trail is piling up in databases you can't see. The net is tightening, and you won't feel it until it's already closed. Level 3, the federal priority. A robbery goes wrong. A security guard pulls his weapon. You pull yours first. He survives, but just barely. Now you're not just a thief. You're wanted for attempted murder. Everything changes. The task force triples in size. Your case gets a dedicated intelligence analyst who does nothing but build a profile of you. Where you strike, when you strike, the gaps between crimes. They see the geographic pattern that you think is random, but isn't. Humans are terrible at creating true randomness. We build patterns without even realizing it. The analyst sees yours. Your face goes up on billboards. Crime Stoppers offers a $25,000 reward. Your photo is now on the FBI's main website. Not the most wanted list, but you're climbing. The media gives you a catchier, more dangerous-sounding nickname. The news runs your story whenever it's a slow day. You become real to people, not just a face on a poster, but a narrative, a threat in their community.
Tips flood in by the hundreds. One of them is from your ex-girlfriend. She recognized your hands in the surveillance footage. At first, she wasn't sure, but then she saw the way you hold a gun, your stance, and something clicked. The FBI is at her door within hours. Level 4, the manhunt. Now they have your name. They know where you grew up, where you went to school, who your family is. Agents interview your parents, your siblings, your former coworkers. Everyone you've ever known gets a visit. Some cooperate, some don't. Your mother cries and says she doesn't know where you are, which is true. Your brother says nothing and closes the door. The FBI freezes your bank accounts and monitors your email and social media, every digital footprint you've ever left. They track down your known associates, putting them under surveillance, hoping you'll make contact. You're smart enough not to, but isolation is its own kind of prison. You're sleeping in motels, paying with cash and using fake names that work for a night clerk who doesn't care, but wouldn't hold up under real scrutiny. You're somewhere in the middle of the country where you can disappear into small towns that don't ask questions.
You grow a beard and lose weight from the stress. You start to look different from your photos, which helps. But you're running out of money, which means you have to hit another bank. You scout a target in a town so small it doesn't even have a traffic light. One bank, 2 employees. It's the kind of place where an FBI presence seems unlikely. You're betting on that. The robbery takes 4 minutes. Mask on, gun out. The teller, a woman in her 60s, is shaking so hard she can barely open the drawer. You get away with $12,000, enough to buy more time. You're back in your car and 3 counties away before the local sheriff even gets a description. But something went wrong. That bank had a new security system installed last month. It captured your eyes, your gait, the specific way you moved, and uploaded the footage to a federal database. A match comes back in 17 minutes. The task force knows where you are. Not your exact location, but within a 100-mile radius. They mobilize everything: helicopters, roadblocks, and local police coordinating across state lines. Your burner phone, the one you thought was safe, pings a tower. They triangulate your direction. The radius shrinks to 50 miles, then 20.
You are oblivious. You're driving the speed limit on back roads, thinking you got away clean. Then you see the roadblock. You spot the flashing lights a quarter mile ahead and turn off before they see you. Your heart pounds. That wasn't a random checkpoint. They're looking for you. You ditch the car in a grocery store parking lot and disappear into the woods. Level 5, the fugitive. You survive for 3 days as temperatures drop into the single digits. You build small fires, extinguishing them before dawn, terrified the smoke will give you away. Your water freezes. You melt snow in your hands to drink, knowing it's lowering your core temperature, but you have no other choice. On the 3rd night, you see lights through the trees, an isolated farmhouse. You watch for an hour. The house appears empty. You need warmth and food before hypothermia finishes what the FBI started. You break in. The owners are gone. You find canned food and blankets, staying for 2 days with the lights off, trying to be invisible. But on the 2nd day, a neighbor drives by, slowing down to stare at the house. Something is wrong. You flee immediately, back into the cold.
The task force finds your fire pits and the tracks you tried to cover in the snow. They bring in bloodhounds. You hear them baying in the distance, getting closer. You run, sprinting through undergrowth that tears at your clothes. You're exhausted. A helicopter appears overhead, its thermal camera spotting your heat signature. They guide ground units to your location. You slide down a ravine, injuring your ankle. The pain is sharp and immediate. You can't run. The dogs arrive first, then their handlers, followed by tactical units with rifles aimed at you. Someone is yelling commands, but you can't process them. You raise your hands. The gun is still in your waistband, but you know that reaching for it means dying. They tackle you anyway, pinning your face into the frozen dirt. The helicopter's rotor wash is deafening. Someone reads you your rights, but you can't hear the words. You're caught. 15 months of running ends in a ravine in Missouri. In the county jail, the charges pile up: armed robbery, attempted murder, assault. Together, they carry decades. Your public defender tells you the evidence is airtight. The prosecutor offers a deal: plead guilty for 40 years or risk life without parole at trial. You take the deal. You are sentenced to 40 years in a federal prison.
You'll be 71 when you're released, if you survive. You are transferred to USP Leavenworth, a maximum security prison. Your new home is an 8 by 10-foot cell. Your name becomes a number. Your identity becomes a classification. The days blend into years. You stop counting. You find a routine: work, read, exercise. Keep your head down. 22 years pass. You're 53, with gray hair and bad knees. Your mother is gone. Your brother stopped writing years ago. You have no one. When you finally walk out, the world is unrecognizable. You are a ghost from another era. You have $600, a bus ticket to a halfway house, and a skeptical parole officer. You were once hunted by the FBI. Now you're just another ex-con trying to figure out how to find a job that will never hire you. The most wanted list continues without you, filled with new faces, new crimes, and new people making the same mistakes, all thinking they're smarter than everyone who came before. They're not. No one is.